What is up? I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Serving Excellence. I have an awesome, very special guest with me today. We have Nicki, who is a massage therapist in Canada, Toronto, Canada. She runs a body positive home practice where her cats greet her at the door. Nicki earns 6 figures plus, only working part time, and she is on a mission to close the gender pay gap one massage at a time. She aims to be an example of what's possible to other women. And her official slogan is, "You look like you need a massage." While the unofficial slogan is, "You will never hear the pan flute in my treatment room." I love that. Nicki prefers Otis Redding to spa music. And I wanted to bring her on here. Nicki, thank you so much for being here. Um, because she is a 6 figure earner in the massage field, only working part time. Um, and I wanted her to be able to speak a little bit about her journey to getting here. As I'm sure, Nicki, how long have you been a massage therapist?
I've been a massage therapist for 9 years. I've been working for myself for almost seven.
Awesome. Where did you start out? Like, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. Actually, how did you even get into this field in the first place?
That is an excellent question. Nobody believes me when I say this, but I became a massage therapist exclusively for the money. I used to work in the music industry,
Same.
which was a ton of fun, but there was no job security, no upward mobility. It was rife with sexism. And the pay was awful. I worked at the biggest record company in the world, and there were layoffs every year. It was shrinking, and it was so stressful. And the writing was on the wall, and I knew I wasn't going to be there for long, and the money was never going to be what I wanted it to be. And I very reluctantly quit. I bawled my eyes out when I left that job because I
Mm.
like music is my just favorite thing in the world. Um, and I was like, I need a job. I need something secure. That was my number one priority was job security. And I made a checklist of all the things that I wanted in a job, and job security was absolutely number one. And I narrowed it down to two fields. I was either going to become a massage therapist or a lawyer. And yeah,
Quite different.
and I my brother is a criminal defense lawyer. You call them attorneys, we call them lawyers. And I told him, I said, I think I might want to do what you do. And he said, I think you would make an excellent lawyer if that's what you want to do because you're intelligent and you love to argue, but I don't think that's what you want to do. And I said, you're right. I'm going to massage school. And that was 2013. I enrolled in school.
That's awesome. You love to argue.
Yeah.
Do you think I love to argue? I don't.
Feisty.
That's awesome. So between lawyer and massage therapist, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
what it might sound strange to American massage therapists. Massage therapy is a wonderful career in Canada. We are the highest trained massage therapists in the world that I know of. The
three
training
years of
is
school, right?
it's 2 to 3 years of full-time college. It's I did 2 years. Some people do 3 years. It's anywhere from 2,200 to 3,000 hours. And most importantly, we're regulated healthcare providers here in Ontario, which means that we were considered an essential service during lockdowns. So we only had to stop working for 2 months during COVID. Um, and most importantly, our services are covered by health insurance. So, or what's called extended health insurance, which I think is how regular health insurance works in the States, but I don't really
Right.
understand how it works down there. Which
I think
basically
it's
means
pretty much the same.
85% of massage recipients here in Ontario have full or partial coverage. So I figured if I become a massage therapist, I will have something everyone wants and it's free. And it's woman dominated. For the first time in my life, I was going to be rewarded for being a woman instead of punished. And that's why I chose this field.
Did you find it to be as easy as you thought it would be, like when you started?
Yes, the job security, yes and no. The job security is definitely there. Ever since I graduated in 2015, I have gotten job offers like practically every week. Everybody's hiring all the time. I got phone calls, emails, LinkedIn messages, Instagram messages. People are constantly looking to hire massage therapists. I have been offered so many jobs that I didn't even apply for. I'll just get people calling me up saying, "Can I hire you?" I'm like, "I don't even know who you are." Like the job security is unmatched. It is just it's like 100% employment rate. Like it is absolute madness. Um, and I learned that it is very, very, very easy to have an average career, to have an average income, average career, to live mildly comfortably. But if you want to make six figures, definitely more of a challenge.
What were some of the challenges that you faced? And let's start at the beginning, like when you went from working for somebody for the first 2 years, right?
Yeah, it was a good two and a
And
half
then
years that I was working for
and
other
then
people.
transitioning into your own business. What were some of the challenges that you faced through that transition?
Whew. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I worked from my home. I was new to the neighborhood. I wasn't new to the city, but I was new to the neighborhood. I didn't have any kind of signage because it's my house. So I didn't have an awning, I didn't have a storefront, I didn't have a sign. Um, I didn't know a lot of people in the neighborhood, and didn't know how to run a business for sure. Like I made my own website. It was like a DIY, one of those
Yeah.
dinky little websites. I didn't know anything about copywriting. I didn't know anything about sales, marketing. I didn't know how to price my services. I did what everybody else does, which is I looked around to see what everybody else was charging, and then I undercut them, which I thought was a good idea at the time, and it turned out to be a horrible idea. Um, yeah, I was just like winging it. And that was the biggest challenge. Like, running a business is no joke. It's not the same as working for other people. Like clients don't just magically appear because you're a massage therapist. Like you have to position yourself properly and with the right messaging to the right market and get your pricing right in order to be successful. So yeah, I did some guesswork and I did it on my own for 6 weeks and then I hired a business coach.
That's pretty early to be hiring a business coach, in my opinion. Most people don't do that till several years in and maybe even a couple of failures.
Yeah, I'm really impatient. I will always exchange money for time, and most people I find do the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so you started out and you undercut people's pricing.
Yeah.
Um, is there not because it's covered by insurance, there's not like a standard pricing that
There
happened?
there I mean it's the same as any other industry. Like there are definitely averages and also like you find that most people in certain areas will charge a certain amount. Um and the insurance companies have what they call reasonable and customary. So some of the every insurance company is different with the amount of coverage that they offer. I've had some clients have really great coverage. I've had some clients have like pathetic coverage, like they'll get like $10 taken off of each massage kind of thing. It really varies, but the insurance companies in general do come up with what they consider reasonable and customary. And it's just kind of an arbitrary number that they choose for what they think a massage should cost or how much they're willing to cover of a massage. And
Right.
the problem is a lot of those numbers haven't changed in like 15 years. So some of the insurance companies will say, well, we think $85 an hour is reasonable and customary, or $100 an hour is reasonable and customary.
Right.
Meanwhile, I live in the most expensive city in the country.
So is that what it is, about 65 to $85 of coverage?
It totally depends. I've had people come to me saying that they have 5,000 to spend for the year. I've had people say they get $30 off per massage. I've had people say I get 80% coverage up to and including $120 an hour. It completely depends on their insurance plan. I don't deal with insurance directly. I have everybody pay me upfront and then they deal with their insurance company and they get their own reimbursement. It's a huge headache and I don't want to deal with it. So
Yeah.
it's all over the place. But most people have some kind of coverage.
Okay, so it's not necessarily that it's like 100% free, but they might cover a certain amount, and then somebody else would have to cover the difference. Like
Yeah.
if the
So
insurance company is 60,
sometimes insurance will cover a certain amount, they'll pay the difference. Sometimes insurance will cover all of it. It totally depends on the
depends on.
person and their insurance plan.
their insurance
And
plan
some
and
people,
your price.
15% of people on average don't have insurance and pay out of pocket. I don't have insurance because I'm self-employed, and I get a 2-hour massage once a month and I pay out of pocket for that.
Okay. Okay. I guess in my head, when you say it's like it was like insurance covers it, I thought it would be more standardized. So there is some nuance to that, and there is some like still you would need to position yourself differently. Like if you have higher prices, and your marketing might need to be a little bit different because even though insurance covers it, we still need to differentiate ourselves.
100%. So the way I try to explain it, because I know a lot of Americans don't really fully understand it because it's so different up here. But the way I try to explain it is, let's say I give you a $1,000 prepaid Visa gift card, and I say, here's $1,000. You can only spend this on massages, but you can spend it on any massage therapist that you want. You still have to choose the therapist that you want to spend it on. And that $1,000, depending on the therapist, it might get you 15 massages, it might get you 5.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's
So
similar.
you'd still have to market.
My insurance covers 12 chiropractor visits a year. It doesn't cover any massage, unfortunately, but I don't necessarily know that the price matters as much, but it does cover 12 visits. So yeah, it just depends on who we use in that case. Um, I wish my insurance covered massage. That would be really freaking great.
Yeah, it's definitely uh it's the third most redeemed form of insurance here. So it's right behind medical and dental. And by medical, I mean like prescriptions, because we have free healthcare up here. So if you go to the doctor, if you get a surgery, it's free. But if you want a prescription, or like a travel vaccine or something, or like a cosmetic surgery, you have to pay for that.
Right. Got you. Got you. Okay, so you went into your own business, and how did you get like your first 5 clients? Do you remember?
Yeah,
First
yeah.
5 or 10 clients?
I remember my first day in practice, I had 2 clients and they're still with me. One of them followed me from a clinic that I used to work at. And I did that with permission, by the way. I was not doing anything shady. I told the people that I was working for that I was working from home, and they said, go ahead and tell your regulars, if they want to come follow you. So I integrity is very important to me, so I didn't steal clients. So one of them followed me from a clinic, um, and one of them was referred to me from a friend. Yeah. So in the beginning, it was mostly friends of mine and existing clients uh, for the first month or so, until I really started hustling with my marketing and
And
finding strangers.
that was existing clients from the place that you were working.
Yeah, from a clinic I used to work at.
Right. Awesome. And
And then
so
I left the clinic and opened my practice, and then some people followed me.
at this point, did you have any experience in like, did you know how to market your business, or is this something? No.
Yeah.
Even working in the music industry, you didn't learn any
I
tactics
mean,
of marketing?
I worked in sales. I had jobs before in sales and marketing communications, so I
Mm.
knew the basics, and I was already I'm just a naturally a good writer. I have a degree in like psychology and English, so I knew I had studied marketing psychology when I was in university, and I've always been a skilled writer, so I knew enough to like I was okay, but I wasn't like a marketing expert, which I kind of consider myself now.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to dive deeper into that. Okay, so you had your friend, and then you had somebody else from there. Was there a point in time where you were like, okay, now, like, how the heck do I get new people in here because I'm not growing?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So when I first opened, I was just working part-time. I was working from home 3 days a week, and I was also working part-time at a clinic to pay the bills. So I was an independent contractor at a massage clinic. And so I was doing both, which really worked well for me because it took the pressure off. Like I could afford to build slowly, and I had steady income. I had a safety net. I had a lot of savings too. So that really helped. I didn't have that pressure of like needing to be fully booked right away, which is great because I also didn't have the desperation. Like I also felt the freedom to turn people away if I didn't want to work with them. So I was working 3 days a week, completely on my own, just kind of posting on Facebook. I was getting about like 2 to 3 people a day. Like I think I was getting, you know, 6 to 10 clients a week or something. And I was like, that's cool. But I can't live off of that. I can't live off of like 1 to 2 I think I was getting, yeah, like 1 or 2 people a day. So maybe 5 or 6 people a week or something. It was exciting. Like I was really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, people are coming to my house and they're giving me money. Like this is amazing. It was so exciting.
Yeah.
But after a month of that, you realize like this is not sustainable. Like I can't pay my bills off of one massage a day. So I knew after about a month that I was like something was gonna have to change. And that I was gonna have to get some kind of guidance. And that's when I started researching business coaches.
So before you got a business coach, were you seeking out any marketing advice or how to get new clients in at that point before the business coach? Well, like, were you getting advice from anywhere from people around that,
Um,
either online
no,
or in
not
person?
really. There were some like business coaches, like just general, not even massage therapist business coaches, just business coaches that I was following
Right.
on like Facebook. Um, but yeah, it wasn't until I started joining those like massage therapist Facebook groups. Like you run a group, right? Are you the massage entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I'm just an admin in that group. I didn't start it.
Yeah. So I started joining all those groups and found that most of those groups are run by coaches who work with massage therapists. And then I found one that I really liked. And I hired her 6 weeks after opening my private practice. I didn't want to wait.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did that cost you?
Oh, not as much as it costs now, although she's changed her business model. Um, I don't know, I don't know if I feel comfortable saying the
That's
price,
totally
but it
fine.
was it was in the thousands. It
Yeah,
was a bit of an investment, but it to me
just pay.
it was worth it. It was 100% worth it. And by the way, I'm Canadian, so $1,000 US is like 1,300 Canadian. So for every $1,000 that I had to spend, add another 30% to convert to Canadian currency, right? So you
Right.
know, it was a noticeable amount of money, but absolutely worth every penny.
Especially for that time in your business, right? When you're not making that much
Yeah, it
money.
was brand new. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you
But
did you
like
have
I
to go
said,
into
I
debt for
had,
that?
sorry?
Did you have to go into debt for that? Did you put that on like a
No,
credit
no, no,
card
no,
or
no, 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 no,
be able
no.
to pay for it
I
cash?
I had savings and I had a part-time job. So no, I didn't go into debt. I just threw it on my credit card and paid it off immediately. I've never
Get
had
them
debt. Aside from my mortgage, I've never had debt. So yeah, no, no, no.
awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
No,
Yeah,
I'm I'm very cautious with my money.
I just paid like 10 grand for a business coach last year. So it's not
Yeah,
cheap.
no, but it's not supposed to be. Here's the thing, like if I'm paying someone to teach me how to make money, I don't want someone who's cheap. I want someone who makes good money. Like if your job is to teach me how to make money, you'd better be rich.
What's rich to you?
Oh, I like Alex Hormozy's definition. I know you're a Hormozy fan. I'm a
Love
huge
hormones.
Hormozy fan. I've listened to every episode of his podcast and I've read both of his books. Um, he says that it's doing what you want when you want with the people that you want to do it with.
I do
That
like
to
that.
me, that's a rich life.
I like to view it as like not necessarily. I think it's different for everybody, right? So I try to pay attention to people with like how much gap do you actually have in your income? A lot of people like to talk about their revenue, but I'm like, how much gap do you actually have between your expenses and your revenue? Like that's where like there's people who make $1 million a year, but they spend $1 million a year.
I was gonna say, yeah, it depends on your cost of living too, because you can make millions and be broke, or you
Paycheck.
can make $50,000, but if your cost of living is 20, then that feels like you're rich.
Yeah. I mean, there's people I know who are making 60 grand a year that only need 40.
Hmm.
and they have more gap in their income than the millionaire who's making a million but spending a million.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about living within your means. And if you spend less than you earn, if you can just keep doing that, you'll be fine.
True, true. So what were, I know initially you did friends, you had the workplace keeping you afloat so you didn't have to stress about money. Highly recommend that for people. It blows me away how many people come out of school or are working somewhere and they just want to quit their job and jump right into their business. This is what I see a lot of times. This is why you might see me in these groups talking about discount offers and things like that. It's because I'm dealing with this population and giving that population advice. They are typically struggling financially and need clients right now. That's when I give out
Yeah.
that type of advice for people. My advice is different for somebody who has a job or isn't struggling around money and has a little bit of like they're not as urgent. Like then we can do other things that lead to full price clients down the road. But what were some of the tactics or strategies that you used in the beginning when you're going from 5 to 6 a week to maybe 10 to 15 a week?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I cannot stress this enough. I think it's really important to have a niche. Americans say niche, that is incorrect. It's a French word. It's pronounced niche, and I will die on this hill. Um,
It's niche.
no, it is not. It is not. Do you say kitsch?
Here's why
No,
it is.
it's
Here's
quiche.
why it is.
It's
Here's why it
quiche.
is. Because that's our accent. We say words in our accent, not like it doesn't make any sense for me to be like croissant. Like it's croissant because
Okay,
that's my
what
accent.
about quiche? Do you eat quiche or do you eat kitsch?
Well, quiche is not.
It's the
There's no different thing
exact
with quiche.
same.
There's
It
no
is the
different
exact
thing. Quiche
same.
is quiche everywhere. Okay.
I will die on this hill. It's niche.
All right.
I
Is
think
it Nevada or Nevada?
Las Vegas, Nevada. I think it probably should be Nevada, but we say Nevada.
No, it's Nevada.
Yeah,
A lot of
okay,
people
that's
know.
good.
I'll die on that hill.
Been there, I've been to Vegas. Um, okay. So what were we talking about before oh yeah, okay. So
Sorry.
um yeah, I think it's really important to have a niche, basically just a target market. Just if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And you can always expand later if you want, but I say start small, get specific. It's just it makes your marketing so much easier and it makes you stand out and it positions you as an expert. Um, because like ultimately the question that you need to answer is why would somebody come to you? You either have to be the best or the cheapest. Otherwise, nobody's going to want to come to you. And I knew I didn't want to be the cheapest, which meant I had to be the best. So, or the best for a particular market. So, number one, figure out a target market, get specific with who you want to serve. Um, and And then you need to give them a reason to come to you because especially in an industry like ours, there is so much trust required. Like I work from my house, which means I need to have full trust in the people that I'm letting inside of my home, and they need to have trust in me because they're coming to a complete stranger's house, and within 5 minutes they're getting naked and they're lying face down in a dark room. And with you, they're lying face down in a dark room with a strange man. That is intimidating. So you need to go out of your way to one, make them feel safe, and two, give them a reason to give them their your to give you their time and their money and their trust.
So how did you do that in the beginning?
So I hired a business coach and I did everything she said. And I did use strategic discounts. And strategic is the key word here.
Hold on
Strategic
a
meaning,
second. What did you just say?
yeah, yeah.
But
I use discounts.
even though insurance covers your thing, you still use discounts?
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people are not going to like hearing that.
I know, but those people are broke. Like, I use discounts in the beginning and now I make over $1,000 a day. So I don't regret it. I'm not embarrassed by it. I don't apologize for it. I'll still use them on occasion if there's a dip in business or if there's a slow period or recently a bunch of my regulars moved away. So I had to fill those spots. So okay. Like I
This is one
used
of
them
the,
until I got full, and then I stopped for 5 years because I was just overflowing with business. And then if
yeah,
there's ever a dip, I bring them back. They work. They work
one of the
if
things you just
done
said,
correctly.
right. No, there's definitely a wrong way to do it. There's definitely
Yeah,
a wrong way to do it. Um, one of the things you said is like, I live in Vegas. It's one of the most transient towns or places.
for sure.
People are constantly moving in and out of the city. Um, Even they're just moving across town and just away from where I'm at, and now they're 45 minutes away instead of 5. So I deal with that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I think probably more than most places deal with it.
Yeah,
So
it's similar here. Like I live in a major city. Traffic is horrendous. Toronto was actually just ranked worst city in North America for traffic.
really, worse than
Yeah.
California, huh?
Worse than Los Angeles, worse than New York, worse
Chicago.
than Mexico City. We're the worst city in North America for traffic. So there are people who, if you live on the other side of the city, it could take you an hour and a half to get here in the same city. Like there's a joke that says Toronto is 2 hours from Toronto, and they're not kidding.
Yeah, I'd
So
rather
yeah,
drive across town with no traffic than sit in freaking traffic.
yeah, yeah, for
That's
sure.
quite an
So, and
obstacle to overcome.
sorry?
So that's quite an obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you need a funnel. You always need to have a way of getting new people to come to you. Like
Okay.
there's always, in the beginning, you're trying to fill this bucket and it is just filled with holes. And you need to like turn that water on so it's gushing. And then eventually you start patching up the holes so that you can keep your bucket full. But there's always going to be like a little pinhole of like water leaking out. You always need to be able to turn the water on when you need it. That's how I look at my business. Like clients come in, clients go out, they come and go. Clients will be booking through the year and then they'll cancel their next 5 appointments because they just lost their job. You never know.
100%. So how many days a week are you working right now? How many hours a week? 4 days a week?
I work four
What's
days
your
a week,
average?
9 months a year. So I have a 3-day weekend every weekend and 3 months of vacation. Um, and I don't really count my hands-on hours. I do mostly 90-minute massages. And if I feel like working a lot, I might do like 18 appointments in a week.
Hmm.
Um, I'm comfortable with like 12 to 16, averaging $200 a pop.
Is that $200 for a 90-minute?
Yeah.
Nice. So
Plus
4 days a
tax. I'm
week.
Canadian. It's 226. So people pay me, and I get to keep some of the tax. So it's a little more than 200 I get to keep.
Okay. Okay. So 12 to 16 hours a week, 4 days a week, you're making 100,000 plus, and you use discounts in the beginning. Maybe you don't do it as much now, occasionally now. Like how much were you discounting? Let me go back. Were you charging this price when you first started?
No.
Okay.
No. When I first started, I was at $90 an hour. Now I'm at 170.
Okay.
Um,
So
yeah.
90 bucks an hour. What was your initial offer when you were growing from that 5 to 6 clients a week? Like what did you do?
I fully gave free massages. I was giving free, just come and get a free massage for like
And
6 months. I was giving free massages.
that was something the business coach told you to do?
Uh, Not entirely. She had a bit of a different tactic. And I don't feel comfortable sharing her specific tactics.
That's fine.
Um, but definitely heavily discounted. I was giving free or heavily discounted massages in the beginning for the first 6 months, just
Would that
to
be like up to like free, maybe a free half hour?
free with an upgrade. Yeah, or you have the option to pay extra to upgrade to something longer, like that kind of thing. Um, yeah, yeah, and a lot of people poo-poo that, but okay, it works.
So I'm working, it's just very interesting to me, the mindset in our field specifically around charge your worth. This charge your worth statement that is just every time somebody's in these groups, and I feel for them because they're asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're asking for, how do I do this? How do I get new clients in the door? What's the offer I should make? And all they hear is a bunch of, charge your worth, don't offer any discounts, charge, you know, do a free consult that they don't know how to do, like all these things. And I'm even working with a client right now, I don't think she'll mind me saying this, who in the beginning when she first started did all free massages, booked like, and then retained all of them once she did it out of school, almost all of them, like 90% of them
Amazing.
at $90 an hour. Um, and even she has like an aversion to discounts. Like she's like, I don't want a discount. I'm like, let's go back real quick.
Yeah.
You discounted 100% and it worked.
Yeah.
You built a full clientele almost off of doing free service. But like there's still this block.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, good for her. Um, I get my backup whenever somebody says charge what you're worth or know your worth. It's such terrible advice for multiple reasons. One, you're priceless. The dollar amount that you charge for your services has absolutely nothing to do with your worth as a human being. And too many people conflate the two. They're completely separate. You are priceless. Charge what the market will bear, not charge what you think you're worth. And two, because massage therapy is heavily dominated by women, women are constantly taught that we're worthless. So if you charge what you are worth, what you think you're worth, you will almost by definition undervalue yourself. So I don't like that. I say be expensive and be worth every penny. Charge the maximum that the market will bear and do the work to get the right message to the right market to get people wanting to come to you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to offer discounts if you want, but it is a great, great way to get people in the door. I mean, I'll just ask yourself, have you ever in your life bought something because it was on sale or because there was a promotional deal? There's a dentist next to my gym. I was looking for a new dentist. There's a dentist next to my gym, and they put a big banner up in my gym that said free teeth cleaning and exam and x-ray, because we dentistry, I do have to pay for dentistry here.
Right.
um it's also covered by insurance, but I don't have insurance. So anyway, free teeth cleaning, free x-ray, free exam. And I saw that sign and I was like, I know what they're doing. I know exactly why they're doing this. They're brand new. They're going to get me in the door. They're going to clean my teeth. And then they're going to tell me to come back in 6 months. And that's exactly what happened. And it worked. And I have since gone back several times. I've had my teeth cleaned several times. I've had fillings repaired. And I have given them hundreds of dollars because they offered me a free teeth cleaning. And they don't offer that deal anymore because it worked so well that now they're slammed with patients.
Yeah.
It works. It
The dentist
works.
that I see now, they were offering on Instagram. They had this is another strategy. They had an Instagram influencer come in, and her deal that she offered her audience was, if you go to this dentist, they'll give you a free like $125 electric toothbrush. And my wife was like, hey, they're giving out these toothbrushes. Let's go book an appointment. I was like, all right, cool. So yeah, now we go to them. They probably paid for a new boat with what they make off my mouth. So
Yeah. Here's the other thing I want to say about discounts. So let's say you and I are side by side. I'm right next to your clinic. We're competing. Let's say you charge $100 an hour for a massage. Let's say I charge $150 an hour for a massage, but I'm offering a new client promotion, introductory discount, $50 off.
mm-hmm.
We're both now charging the exact same. We're both charging $100 for the hour, but mine seems like a really sweet deal because I'm 150, but oh, just today only, just for you, $50 off. It's it's more attractive. My offer is more attractive than yours, even though they're the same.
It does kind of blow me away when people are like, oh, you're so, they literally call me stupid for telling people to offer discounts. I love arguing with people about this. And I'm like, how much do you charge? They're like 90. I'm like, my discounted
Yeah,
rate is $40
80,
more.
85. I'm like, you're already discounted. You're discounting everyone all the time, every day.
Well, there's a strategy, and it sounds like you have a similar strategy. Your price is 170 for an hour, 200 for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I make my hour punitively expensive because I don't like offering them. I want to give people
Right.
an incentive to upgrade. Yeah, my pricing is strategic
So I
for
get a
sure.
ton of backlash from people who use the same strategy on a low. So there was one girl, she charges 80. She's like yelling at me for telling people to do discounts, telling me I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. And she's charging 80 for an hour and 100 for 90 minutes. And I'm like, your literal price is using a discount strategy. Now it's a pricing strategy and it's smart. She's probably not doing it right because she's actually discounting her 90 minute instead of probably setting that 90 minute where she needs it and then raising the hour to make the 90 minute look more attractive. Like you're
Exactly.
right, you're
Exactly.
charging what
They've
you need for the 90 minute and then bumping the hour up so no everybody's like, I'm not paying
100%. I
$30
am
more.
obsessed with pricing psychology, with marketing psychology, with behavioral science. I've read all the books, I've listened to all the podcasts. I'm absolutely obsessed. And they've done so many studies on if you look at if you go to a restaurant, you look at a menu and they have, three different types of beer. They've got like the domestic, they've got the sort of middle tier, and then the like premium imported beer. People will always choose the middle one. It doesn't matter what the cost is. And if you raise the prices across the board on all of them by $5, they'll still choose the middle one because they don't care about the number. They care about the positioning.
Right. And I think
So
it
whenever
matters.
if I want people to book, like my favorite time massage length is 90 minutes. So I just do 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours. That's all that I offer. None of this BS 30 minutes, 45, 75, 102 minutes, like none of that. I just do 30 or 60, 90, 120. That's all I offer. That's my entire service menu is just 3 times. And the 90 is what I want. So I put it in the middle. I say it's the most popular, which it is, and I price strategically so that is the bulk of my business is 90 minutes.
Is your 2 hour push further away in price? So you're 170, 200, and then your 2 hours probably like 250, right?
It is 250. It should be higher. It should be higher, but it's
But it's high enough that it's a $50 gap instead of a
instead of a
$30 gap.
30. Exactly.
So it's going to push people
Exactly.
through more.
Plus add another 13% to that because this is Canada, so we've got 13% tax.
Right, right. Yeah, because there's some people who think that you should have it priced evenly. I used to be one of those until I actually learned these strategies. Where I used to be 130, 195, 260, and I bumped my hour up to 150. Now I'm 150, 200, 250. Because I don't mind doing 2 hours, so I kept it even, an even jump. If I wanted to push away from 2 hours, I'd probably go 270 for the 2 hour, and that way less people would do it. But I still want people to do that, so it's a $50 jump either way. But when I was at 130 and I kept it even, more people would do the hour because it was a $65 jump to the next one. It's a $65 jump to that one. So more people moved to the hour. When I bumped my price up to 150 and I went $5 more for 90 minutes, way more people do the 90 minute now. Whereas
Yeah, for sure.
what I want. And then
It's the same if you go to the movies, a small popcorn is $10, a large popcorn is like 10.50. It's the same thing. It's like upsizing your fries. Look at the Starbucks menu. It's the same thing. People have been doing this since the dawn of time.
Yeah. But the key is, and I see a lot of people use this strategy, but it seems like they're pricing their hour where they need. They're like, I need $80 an hour, but then I'll discount to 100, which is killing them in their business. Because that's only what is that per, it's like 75 or 60. I don't know. Don't make me do math right now. What that per hour price is. Yeah, it's just under 70 per hour because 70 is 105 for the hour and a half.
Yeah. That's another thing is I did the math. I wanted to make at least $100 per working hour, not per hands-on hour, per working hour, including the 30-minute, cleanup time. So I thought if I work an 8-hour day, I want to be bringing in minimum $800 with only 5 hours of hands-on massage.
Yeah. That's awesome.
5 or 6 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So super important to run your numbers and actually know what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did free massages in the beginning. This was a successful strategy, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And
Because even if they don't come back, because people are like, oh, you're gonna get deal seekers, you're gonna get tire kickers, you're gonna get, yeah, that's gonna happen. Some people came and I never saw them again. But every person is a touch point, every person is the opportunity to practice my sales pitch, every person is potential uh upgrade, or you put them on a treatment plan, you get them to come back. Every person is a potential review, every person might potentially tell their friends. Like, it's all just practice. You can't win them all, but it's like the same way when people use Groupon. I've never used Groupon, but it's a great way to get a massive influx of people. Now you have to work on um your rebooking skills also obviously have to be stellar in order to make that work, but it's a great way to get people in the door.
well,
Or
I've seen
feedback, even. You could say, hey, come get a free massage. In exchange, can you fill out this survey? Give me feedback. One person told me that she could smell cat pee when she came to my house. And I was like, okay, amazing. That's good feedback. So then I went out and I bought all kinds of stuff to get rid of the smell. I'm glad she told me that.
I would say that's crucial for your first 3 to 6 months is to get as, I mean, throughout the entire journey, but especially in the beginning when you're just starting out, feedback is imperative.
Yeah. Or get on my mailing list, like you should be getting something in exchange. If you're gonna give somebody something for free, you should be getting something in exchange, I think. You know?
I think emails are a great thing it's typically what I offer. Give me your email. I'll give you this offer because then you're on my list and I can market to you and build relationship long term. But it's an area I'm trying to push massage therapists to get to actually grow an email list. So many are not.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
I've email is the highest ROI of any type of marketing. You will get better response, more clicks, more views on your emails than you ever will on a Facebook or Instagram post. And it's free.
1000%. one
It's
thousand
free.
percent.
Yeah, I have a newsletter that I send. And people
Yeah,
actually read it. I get compliments on it.
when you do it right, it's not like so many people are afraid that they're going to be annoying. And I'm like, yeah, you'll be annoying if you only send like, hey, buy my thing, book an appointment, book an appointment. But if you're actually adding value in that newsletter, real value, then people aren't going to get annoyed by it.
Yeah. So if they are annoyed, that's what the unsubscribe button's for.
Yeah.
They're welcome to leave. But I always say money comes from providing value. And if you want to get really skilled at making money, the best way to do that is to get really good at providing value. Which is also why I can't handle it when people, say it's not about the money or don't be greedy. And I'm like, the best way the best way to make good money is to get really skilled at helping people. The more money I earn, the more people I'm helping, and I'm helping them in bigger ways. I have somebody coming to me actually in an hour. I have a new person coming to me because she's a trans woman and she didn't feel comfortable going to anybody else for a massage until she found me.
Do you put that type of marketing out that would make that person feel safe?
Yes.
That's part of your
Yes.
messaging.
I'm very openly trans supportive. I have a lot of trans people come to me for their first massage ever. It's really important to me. And I live in a major major city that's it's the most diverse city in the world, Toronto.
Mm.
So it's very important to be inclusive.
And so it sounds like do a lot of people do that there? Or is that just part of your brand differentiation?
I don't want to say I was the first. I was among the first to really be openly trans positive,
Awesome.
trans friendly.
Awesome. So if you could give like three takeaways for somebody, because I think we're going to wrap up here. If
Yeah.
three takeaways, your top three, like do this to get clients in the door, because this is the number one problem that people have is getting new clients in the door. There's many others, but this is the top thing. How do I get new people? What are the top three things you would recommend? Whether it could be book recommendations, it could be a strategy, it could be a tactic, whatever the top three. You can do more. Well, what is it?
Oh, I mean, I could do 100. Okay, I'm gonna try and let me think.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say absolutely number one, have a target market. Whatever you want to call it, a niche, a niche, a target market, a target population, a specific problem that you solve, a type of athlete that you work with, or just get specific with who you're targeting. That would be absolutely number one. Number two, um, don't take advice from people who don't have what you want. You go to a Facebook group and you say, how do I get new clients? You're going to get 100 comments from a bunch of broke people. Do not take business advice from people who don't have money. This is why I don't take business advice from most massage therapists, because I'm in the top 1% of earners, which means I can't listen to anybody else because it's just they're not, it's bad advice. So don't take advice, financial or otherwise, from somebody who either doesn't have what you want or doesn't have a track record of getting other people to where you want to be. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. That goes for everything. That goes for health, that goes for wealth, and it goes for relationship, the big three. Um, and the third one, I would say raise your standards. When you raise your standards, people have no choice but to follow suit. I have a no exceptions, very strict cancellation policy. I have had people pay me because there's been a death in the family, they're in the hospital, they have a relative in the hospital, their dog went to the vet, their car won't start, their kid got sick. They still pay me. I don't accept any disrespect from my clients, and I will absolutely not work with people where I feel unsafe or uncomfortable. And I think that is a major problem in our profession. This fear of saying no. I want to give people permission to say no. You can say no. Massage is not a public service, and nobody has the right to get a massage from you. You can always turn people away. So raise your standards for your clients, for yourself, for your life, and for your income. The ceiling is so much higher than you think. So much higher.
I
I'm
do
earning
want
more than anybody ever told me I could.
you're definitely above average. I mean, average is 42, 45,000 across.
Really? It's
Yeah,
probably a bit higher here,
it
but
might be. Yeah, it depends. I'll look it up later. But one thing I do want to, as you said, don't take advice from people who aren't successful or have what you have. I would add to that and say also don't take advice about things that people weren't successful at. So whether that's, oh, how do I get clients at chair massage events, or how do I use Groupon? And then you get a bunch of people chiming in like, oh, I tried it and it didn't work. Like, these people you're not going to take advice from because they weren't successful at this thing.
right. That's a good point. Yeah, because there are going to be people who have tried the things that you're thinking of doing, and if they failed at it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It means they didn't do it in a successful way. That's a really important distinction because it all
It all works.
Groupon can work. I never used it.
It all
It's not
works.
my go-to recommendation, but it can work if you're strategic about it. If you're really skilled at rebooking, it can work.
Every single strategy that people talk about works. Free services work. Discounted services work. Paid advertising on Facebook works. Posting organic media or on social media works.
Yeah.
Networking works. Chair massage works.
Yeah.
Yelp
Email
works.
works. It's
Email
all
works.
marketing works if it's effective.
It all
Strategic,
works. Yeah, you just
effective
have to do
marketing
it
always works. Yeah,
always.
that's a really important distinction. So yeah, those would be I don't know what I just said, but those would be my big three. Get a target market, raise your standards, and be very, very, very selective with who you choose to accept advice from.
How did you make the decision? This would probably be my last question. How did you make the decision to choose your business coach?
Oh, yeah. I had joined all of the massage therapist Facebook groups. I think I'm in all of them. And at the time she was doing a live Q&A on Facebook every week. So every Sunday night she would take an hour and just answer people's questions. And I was watching those videos and I really liked her answers. I liked that she was a massage therapist who worked with massage therapists. So her niche was massage therapy because I was considering working with Marie Forleo, who is just a business coach for all businesses. I liked that she had a target market and that she really knew massage therapy. She really knew her stuff. I liked her attitude. It was very like in your face, but with love, like no BS, which I like direct. I love that. Um, and then I called her. I got her on the phone. She did her sales pitch, and I thought this person is intelligent. She knows what she's talking about. She gives good advice. I trust that she can get me. She understands my situation. I trust that she can get me to where I want to go. And I also just really want to hang out with her. I was like, man, she's in the States. I was like, I want to get on a plane and hang out with her. Like, I wanted her to be my coach and I wanted her to be my friend.
I think that's a good distinction too, because that's also who I want to be massaging. I don't want to be massaging people that I don't want to be around.
100%. Yeah. It's the no like trust factor. I knew
Hmm.
her. I liked her. I trusted her. And it was the best decision I ever made. If you're struggling, get help. And you can't, when people say I can't afford it, you can't afford not to. Because the alternative is you're just going to struggle for the rest of your career. It doesn't have to be this hard. Like success is not a secret. Successful people, most of them will gladly tell you how they got there.
100%. And what I do hear you say as well is she showed up and added value for free every single week.
Yeah, exactly. I got tons of free advice and very valuable free information from her Facebook group, from her posts, from her videos. Yeah, that's why I love Alex Hormozy so much. Because, like, aside from buying 2 books, I spent $50 or whatever on those books. I didn't give that man a dime. And he has given me millions of dollars worth of free advice. Like,
One
incredible, incredible.
one of my clients, he's attended his workshops here in Vegas because Alex Ramosi is
Yeah,
located here in Vegas.
he's from Vegas.
Yeah, and so he's actually been to his workshops, and he's been telling me
That's so
all about
cool.
the experience working with him.
I
Um,
love him. I'm obsessed. I think he and his wife are just the greatest. And absolutely, like to all the massage therapists out there, please listen to Layla Hormozi's podcast. It is so, so important, especially for women. She's such a badass.
she is a badass. She's sick. Okay, dude, thank you so much for jumping on this call. I do think people are going to get value from this. I hope that they um, get out there and do something. It doesn't have to be discounts, right? It doesn't have to be that, but you can't sit in your home or your practice and expect people to come see you if you're not visible.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you like,
100%. You have to make yourself known. Like you can't help anybody if you're not talking to them. And just if you got to look at selling and serving. Like that is helping. If you're selling your services, what you're saying is, "Hey, you have a problem. I can help you solve it. I can solve your problem for you." That's really what you're doing. You're just offering to help people in exchange for money, but yeah, you're offering to help people. So, my mission is just being an example of what's possible. And when I first enrolled in massage therapy school, the director of admissions told me that if you want to make 6 figures as a massage therapist, you have to run a clinic. And I believed him. He wasn't lying. He believed it. I believed it. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to open a clinic, have a bunch of rooms, have a bunch of staff, have a bunch of clients in order to make $100,000. And I am here to assure you that is not true. You can do it yourself if that's what you want. Um, and you can do it part-time.
I love it. Nicki, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, this has been another episode of Serving Excellence. Nicki, it sounds like you are serving people excellently. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay with me while I click off of this.
Thank you so much for your time.